Long time ago, William Shakespeare, in the Shakespearean era, he said something amazing. You know what he said? He said there are three ways for a person to be an immortal person. And that is to love someone so that love will last forever. And another thing would be to have an extended family. As long as the world is alive, you have the sight in your eyes and you can hear the world, your families will carry on your bloodline. But above all, he said, being a part of an artwork would be the greatest part of being an immortal. So, for a long time, for decades, in England and the rest of the world, the artists came from every corner to create magic and cast that magic into our eyes and feelings and heart. So deep down our bones, we know how important artistry is. So today, we are going to have a look at a masterpiece. You know what that means? That is artistry, skill, and above all, you got the workmanship and ethic, patience. All these things will create a masterpiece. But today, we have something special for you. Prashan Deepthikumara, our artist, has produced an amazing artwork. And it's a masterpiece. Above all, it is still a work in progress. But let's dive in to see what it is offering us. Symphony. Symphony is a long overdue commitment, right? What if we compose the golden tapestry of art, the brushwork, paintwork, and create something amazing for us to absorb into our brains? So, this, what I'm looking at, is a great example. So, to the thin eyes, we will feel like, yes, we have people with different musical instruments like, brass horn, violins, and so many instruments. And there are so many characters here and beautiful scenery behind it, like magic. But it is something more than that. The commitment the artist has produced to create this can take a long time. Now, if we dive into just this main figure, what do you think? Whatever you feel, yes, I am with you. But at the same time, there's something more to it, as always. Symphony of angels. So obviously, to the naked eye, we know that this is an angel. But there is a logic behind it. Look at these strokes. The artist actually took 1.5 years to come up with this painting, this artwork. You know why? Because there are so many layers on top of each other to make this a sound masterpiece. Now, just looking at the angel, what do you feel? That's a question to the board. But let me explain how I feel about it. Now, we know she's a virgin, right? The beauty, extravaganza, everything is actually brought up with this great artwork. And, the dress she got is another example for that. That is see-through. That signifies how pure and how touchy, how attractive she is. But the light, or is it the sky, or is it just herself, came down to the earth. Now, we are going to the face, but above the face you can see the light. That is what she's bringing, and that is where she's coming from. Now, look at the face. If you have a closer look, from the hair to the chin, you can see how many strokes Prashant has used to make it more realistic in a way that we feel that this is an angel. And even the eyebrows and the evenness of the colors of the eye and even the pupil is brought out nicely. And even the chin and the facial structure is amazingly presented. So then, going down, because we know she's a virgin, right? So the body structure is untouched, unfathomed, so it should bring these details into life. So the artist has actually done the justice. You're looking at this, I can see it is three-dimensional. And if you take a closer look, you will feel more. Every detail that is presented, even through the bone structure of the arms and even the legs. Now, there is an interesting point that you need to remember. You know, the doctors, they know the full body anatomy of the human beings. But the artists, they are closer to the human beings. You know why? When I had that initial discussion with Prashant, he said to me an interesting point. For him to come up with this idea, he had to understand the human anatomy, every part of the body, how the muscles are connected. So that makes more sense when people dive into her body, dive into her image. So it is cast with a lot of thinking, a lot of patience. And now, the next thing is, I was talking about light. Then where did she come from? Probably from the sky, right? Right beneath her legs, we can see the clouds which brought her, which landed her. It is sending us an amazing feeling about the so-called place that we all crave for. Maybe it's heaven. And then look at the wings, right? We know, even in the times of Michelangelo and the rest of the predecessors, they were always signifying the angels with the wings. So the artist has done the justice by bringing in these feathers and the wings, and they are more realistic in the way the shades and the color palettes used. You can see it if you have a closer look. From the starting point, they are evenly balanced, but at the same time the color combination has done the justice to the wings that she got. And then what is the most important part of this? Angels bring good luck. Angels bring amazing feelings, right? We feel that it's a gateway to the heaven. But yes, like our mind, like our soul, we can't touch them, but we know deep down the bones that we can feel something, right? That is what she's holding. It is shining, and it is like a crystal feeling, which is the hope that we all crave for. Hope is the bedrock of our countries. Hope is the bedrock of our leaders. At the end of the day, hope is the bedrock for you and me. So that is what she's offering. That is what she's bringing. So the world itself is an amazing place. That's what we think. But it is full of different layers, just like this picture. You know, we have the aristocracy, we have the royals, and above all, you have the middle class. You have the lower level people who are touching the footprints of the land. So everyone is represented. So just like we have to appreciate the calling of the angel, symphony for the angels is also something that we regard in the world that we live. And we used to do it for ages, for many eras. So this is represented nicely by Prashan in this exhibition, in this artwork, in this masterpiece. So let's dive in. So now, when I turn to my left, I actually can see that the Queen is there with the high note, and above all, she's standing above the rest of the people in this audience, right? That is what we need, because she is the throne, she is the power. So she got the brass horn. And then she's followed by the smoothness of the aristocracy. So that's why we got the violin and flute. That is smoothness, right? So we don't live only in a world with smoothness. We have rough, and we have the people who suffer. We have the people who have to work day in and day out. So they are represented to my right. So you can see the cello, you can see the guitar, and then you can see the harp. That is more like the rough tone for this symphony. So we can see that nicely represented in here. And if you closely have a look at this masterpiece, you will find with the way they wear, with the way their hair is presented, with the way their skin is presented, with the way every detail is presented in each person, it is going to create the ethos of that feeling, the difference between class. But at the end of the day, they all are here for one thing, just to praise the hope, just to believe in hope, just to believe in the angel. To my right, I will find something that will ease your heart. You know why I say that? The reason for that is sometimes we choose harder way, but sometimes we go light. But people say light is easy. To give up is easy. In a changing world, the only unchanging thing is change itself. But people who realize that, they give up the things. They try to find the deep down real meaning in life. So we can see that one person as well in here. The monk to my right looks humble and simple, but sophisticated at the same time. Why I say that? He's reflecting the ethos of being a lighter person, but he has the power to tame the power. Why I say that? Have a look. To my right, the lion represents something amazing, which is power, which is the grit, which is the toughness, hardness. So all these things are tamed by this monk while he's holding this lion from his hand in his ears. So that is giving us a message. It is a choice. Yes, there can be an angel, there can be hope. And at the same time, in a world that we go after so many things, by the aristocrats and the rest and the middle class and lower level people. Some people find peace in life when they give up so many things, yet they control and conquer the power and fear. That is what we can see through the representation of the monk. The world we live in, it is an amazing place to the eyes, but to the naked eye, if you think deep down, you will feel that there are so many threats and there are so many opportunities and there are so many people who are there to support and help you with compassion in the heart. So now we are going to move towards that part of this symphony of angels, because it's the world that we live in, right? Now, have a closer look at this boat. It is trying to get closer to the angel and it is going at a rapid pace to reach out. But there are two characters Prashant is representing in here. One is a younger person and the other one is an elderly person. But you may have a question why the younger person is selfish enough to let that old man row the boat. There is a reason for that. Old is gold, like wine, it gets better, it's knowledge, it's wisdom that he collected throughout his lifetime. So that is nicely fathomed and represented in here. You can see with his experience, he's guiding this young man and himself to the light and hope that angel is bringing. That's what age does. And at the same time, we live in a world that we have so many threats. But sometimes when we are in the trash, we are at the lowest point, which is like the rock bottom. But there are people who are kind enough who will reach out to the trash and support us so that we can stand up. So that is what we can see exactly in this image, in this painting. Because this woman is supported by an angel. So that is someone reaching out to the trash and taking you out, lending you a hand. And that is the world we live in. We have heavenly like people who have a good heart with compassion. Now, all the characters I've explained, but then you will think this is a masterpiece. A masterpiece should reflect something more than that. In the world we know, we have heaven and we have hell. Right? If you have a look at this hope, right above her, you got this beautiful scenery, which is filled with greenery, mountains and cloud cover and this golden light kind of sky. And that is the heaven. That is where we all want to end up, right? But the world we live in, it can also have hell. That hell is nicely balanced and represented and brought out to you through the waters, because waters can be low and they can be wide and they can be deep. The depth that we see to our naked eye is just this. We can see all this, but then have a closer look, zoom in, and in the deep waters you got something, but it's not clear. Even when I have a closer look, I won't be able to tell you what that is. Prashant is trying to give you a message, send you a message, to think that there are some things which are dangerous. Perhaps we have not even seen them yet. We have not even discovered them. So that is the world we live in. So Symphony of Angels is a masterpiece that we need to dive in. We need to have a look. We need to understand in detail. So if you are happy with this, have a look. And if you have any questions, Prashant will be happy to give you answers. Symphony of Angels. It is something for the souls. Food for thought. Have a look. Let us know what you think. Use the comment section. If you have any questions, raise them. Prashant is happy to answer you. Above all, subscribe and stay tuned. We will bring you more portraits, more masterpieces in the days, weeks, months and years to come. So, stay happy. See you all soon.